Hi, welcome to another video on my Raspberry Pi 2 using a robot operating system. Last time the experiment went completely wrong as my Raspberry Pi didn't boot up. Fortunately, I was able to completely rescue and solve the problem. So, looking back two videos, I ended up with a switch and a motor completely connected, and it didn't run. Well, the ROS nodes were running and were more or less giving the correct data, but the motor didn't do anything. So, looking back at all the experiences, I have decided that it is necessary to also here put a transistor in between the signal and the motor. So this part I have to rewire, so to speak. So what I have to do is with this signal, which leads to the red power, is to put this one here to create some space, and then this one is coming loose for now. And then I have to put a transistor here. Then, if everything is alright, I need a jump wire, because this jump wire needs to be connected to the mass, ground if you like it. So this may be a bit of no mass, which is here. So this is one. Now another jump wire, and I see that I made a very little mistake there. Let me take a tool, and I need to take this one. This one is needed here, and this one needs to be relocated one lane to the side. So with this, it should be able to run. And of course the question is, will it run? Not quite sure, but we'll find out as soon as I start first running of the okay, and then I say that I with the complete reset up of the software, you tend to forget to install some software, and in this case it is the RPI GPIO. So that's unfortunate, but I'll have to install that first. So let me do that and then continue. So, as I said, I forgot to install some software, and that turned out to be more complicated than I thought. Because when I first installed Raspberry Pi 2 with Ubuntu, in this case with the username Ubuntu, but that aside, it doesn't have and didn't have the typical Raspberry Pi additives. So I had to install things like RPI, GPIO. I had to reinstall ROS. I had to do something else as well, because like I said 2 episodes ago, I needed to make sure that the that ROS could run at the same time as the GPIO. And there's a problem, because GPIO normally only is being accessed using root, and it is very unwise to access or to run ROS as a root. So in order to overcome that contradiction, you'll have to add the user to the GPIO group. And after all that is done, there is still one other problem, and I have tried to overcome that. Let's go to this tab. I have added the 99-com.rules file, and if you see here, you will see that I have put here the complete, let's say, command to, in addition to what I already had to do, to assign, to make sure that devmem is getting every thing that it needs. Apart from that, I also did it manually. So when I say okay, not here, so I go out and I say okay, show me. Well, this is exactly what it should look like. However, then I say okay, go. No access to dev memory, and that is a problem, because without it, you guess what, it won't run. And without that running, I can't test the motor, because it is directly attached by to the GPIO, and so is the switch. So this is a bit of a problem, and I'm not quite sure how to solve this, to be honest. So let me check here, and this is exactly what it should look like. Going to the browser, and yes, here you see that it has exactly, and okay, think away GPIO, but this is exactly what it looks like and should look like. So why it gives the error is at the moment beyond me. Apart from that, everything is installed and runs fine. ROS core is running. Let's try again. Nope, not working. So I have to look into it once more, and hopefully having a running motor soon. Okay, so while it seemed that despite everything it didn't yet work. It turned out that I had to do another complete reboot of the Raspberry Pi, and now everything works. So I'll show you by running the publisher. It also needs a subscriber, which runs nicely. And then the whole question is, does the motor run? So I will press the switch, and you immediately see in the upper terminal window that the data is 1, and now it turns 0 and 1 again, 0. So the switch is definitely working, but the motor doesn't do anything. So that is not what I want to see. So I am wait, I see yes data and no data. So let me go on. And I see yes data coming on, but I see okay, and I keep seeing yes data. I remember that was the last time as well, despite data being 0 now. So that doesn't really match. And that comes from here somehow. So whenever the data is 0, I want to see a no data. Do I hear a number? And well, that is nice that it does hear a number, but which number does it hear? I go back, and it is here a 0 and a 0, and even that is not correct, because I did press a 1 as well, which I don't see. So the big question is, of course, now, why? Is it because of a string? And that may be very well the case, because the publisher sends out an integer. What do I do here? A number. Now I remember from last time, which is just 2 weeks ago, that this is a string, so it may interpret the data wrong. So if I say D for integer, why do they call D for integer? Anyway, that is what they use. And then they compare it with a 1. So let's see, because I also remember there was some kind of an error. Well, not here anyway. And okay, let's run the subscriber. See, a number is required, no tuple, and that is exactly what is going wrong here now. So let's quit this. This is being seen as a tuple. So going back here, it has to be in this format of a tuple, because a tuple is part of a database, but also part of an array, and an array is a form of a table. A table has tuples and rows, tuples and columns, columns and rows, whatever. And then this is called a tuple. So that was exactly where we were last time, and let me also indicate and explain why the motor doesn't run yet. On the other hand, let's go look further back to all the data. Let's just run it again. Right, I can't. So let's change this back to string. Run the string again. Subscriber. Now data says 1. And here you see yes, data coming through, but this is a 0. So this isn't exactly correct. But how to solve it? And the solution turned out to be as simple as can be. A tuple has just a value. And to access the value, you just take the tuple name and then the first element. In this case, at least, because there is just one element in the tuple. And the first element is 1 and the first element can be 0. So all I need to do is comparing the first element in the tuple, the only element in the tuple, with either 1 or 0. So when running, I see no data. That is understandable because here is 0 and here is 0. And here for 0 it says no data. So there is no motor running. The only thing is that now when I press the switch, and now data is 1, and I am waiting for data to become yes, and if you look right here you see I heard the number 0, comma. So the 1 is either not coming through at all, because now you see in the upper terminal window data is 1 and there is no number coming through, while hello world is coming through most definitely. So the question is, what is the cause? Is the data not coming through? Because there's still 0 now in the upper window, 1 again, while in the lower window it remains 0. And that is very odd, to say the least. So I want to know why that is. Another point is, of course, I'm still stuck with the S, so I need to find out if the S is for tuple, how it can be displayed. Is that indeed can it be a number? So I'm afraid that is the same point, because it then expects a number while it is a tuple, so I can't do that. Using the S for string, it shows no problem, but then what is it? So that is still a very good question. Why is this correct? Well, easy to explain, because this is a string and this is a string, but this is a string and this is not. Ouch. So one step further, but not there yet. Let's find out again further. So I know that from the subscriber it only prints 0. The point is, it is sent from the publisher, and so far I have only been printing the direct input from the switch. However, I am inserting that input into the data, into a data. So how do I know what the exact content is? By printing that content, which I haven't done yet. So it may very well be that it goes wrong right there. So let's run it. Just the publisher. Now press the switch. Lo and behold. So the first element of the tuple indeed does contain 1. I release the switch, I press the switch, I release the switch, and I press the switch. So that is alright. Now that means that this is absolutely correct. Data 2 is defined here. Call back data 2. Call back to data 2 as data, and I know that is correct because here I get the correct data 2 and data as well, I should say. So this is what I need. So let me start again. Now it is 1, as you can see in the upper terminal window, definitely 1. Well, I press the switch, but it shows 0, and that is not correct. Or is it slowing down? I don't think so. Now it is 1. I hold it to 1. But in the lower window you can see it is still 0. And that does not make sense. That makes no sense at all. Also, why do I read this a lot of times and this not? I don't buy that. So I know that this is entirely correct, but this is something I doubt. This does not make sense at all. So what I can do is for now removing the sleep. Maybe that solves that problem. Oops. I'm just trying out now. Alright. Undo it. See, that is a lot better. Pressing the switch, waiting for the 1 to appear in the there it is in the upper window. Now you see arrive. That was the problem. It misses it. It missed the 1 by actually sleeping it. Well, that was the problem. It does receive 1, Yes, but there's still no motor running, not even for a little bit. Not even for a second. And that is why the sleep is there. So if I quit this and put this to 1, what is the difference? I am very curious about this difference. Let's check. So sleep is now 1 second. Let's try this. Pressing the switch, and it only shows 1 when it is in the upper window 1. Yes, there's 1, but I have the dreaded sleep effect again, so that is not going to work. I have to remove it. Not here, here, and go again. Pressing the switch again, waiting for the 1 in the upper window. Now it comes 1, and yes, in the lower window there's 1, but motor output is absolutely 0. What I can do is putting an LED in between, so I know there's at least some value. So let me quickly do that. I remove the resistor and I put in an LED. Which should be working. If it is put there in the right direction, I have to make sure. But I see no LED going up. So that may be that there is a mistake in my doing. There may be one other solution, removing, and I do it off cam for now, removing a jump wire and putting the LED in place of the jump wire. And that is rather hard to do, unfortunately. Its connectors are a bit short, so now I may have luck, but I don't. Alright, that is for next time. Knowing that the code at least works, as you can see, in the upper terminal and the lower terminal, the code works. Now it's time to verify if the motor and LED actually work, and that is what it is about now. So, thank you for watching. Learning by going, learning on the fly, how do you call it? How to install software, had to adjust code according to tuples, and next time hopefully the motor and LED. If you like my videos, please allow advertisements in between the video segments. If not, please visit my website, which is listed under the video, for using PayPal for a small donation. And this is to be continued. Bye bye.